A couple weeks ago, I did a video which was a response to the atheist experience, and in particular, these two hosts. Obviously, the show itself is great, and there's many great people on that show, but this guy, what's his name, Glasser, and his wife, are examples of the worst, most obnoxious, self-hating, guilt-ridden, progressive liberal cowards that I've ever seen. And my first video was well over half an hour, where I went into depth, and the link is in the description if you want to check it out. Now, the reason I stopped in that video is not because they were done. It's because I was done. I could not deal with more of the nonsense. It was irritating me to such a level I said, okay, this is enough. There was more, however, and now you get the bonus bullshit, because they were not finished. The caller who had called in to talk about Charlie Hebdo and the problem that is Muslim violence, jihadism, Islamism, and to point out the trend that people are afraid to discuss the problem and call it out for what it is. Ironically and unknowingly, he was talking to the exact people that he was trying to be critical of. And they end up railroading his conversation about Islam and the threat it poses and taking it into wildly irrelevant places. Please watch this and let's dissect the bonus bullshit. Please watch this.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm addressing the reason why it happened, and when really just if these people weren't fundamentally religious, would they have still committed these acts?
It is certainly a reason why most people weren't.
What is he talking about? Did he even understand what the caller is saying? What do you mean it's a reason? The fact that they're fundamentally religious is a reason? That they went into Charlie Hebdo and avenged the Prophet Muhammad? It was a reason? You gotta be kidding me. How dumb is that? Do you hear that? Just listen to how viscerally stupid it is to say that it's a reason. No, it's the reason. What other reasons? What other reasons, Mr. Glasser, did those Muslims go in and avenge the Prophet Muhammad and enforce the blasphemy laws of Islam and follow the Quranic teaching to kill the infidel, to kill the blasphemer? What other reason is it other than fundamental religion? No, forget fundamental. Religion, Islam. The reason is Islam. Let's be clear here. Seriously, you name another reason. Here's a reason. The man was alive. He was a life form who had functionality in his limbs. He had a cardiovascular system. So part of the reason is religion. Part of the reason is his cardiovascular efficiency. Is that the level that we're getting to here? No. The whole reason that they did that was religion. I'm sorry.
But like a few months ago, a guy shot up a university and specifically left behind a whole bunch of documents that he had posted that said he was angry because hot women wouldn't date him. And he linked,
I remember that, yeah.
And he linked to a number of like men's rights websites. And a lot of people rushed to say in that case that certainly it couldn't have been his ideology. It must have been his mental illness in some way.
Please tell me you did not just bring up that guy in Santa Barbara, that complete and total loser who went in and shot people up. Why? Because he was a virgin and got rejected by girls? Please don't tell me that you're equating men's rights and the men's rights movement, wherever that's based, however big that is, and that freaking red herring, oh my God. Please tell me you're not comparing that. Please tell me you are not suggesting that men's rights groups advocate shooting women and killing people in large groups. And please don't tell me you're trying to equate men's rights with Islam and jihadism and Islamism and global jihad. Please. Oh my God. Isn't it great though? These people will get to their topics of choice, no matter what. So the guy calls in talking about Muslims, talking about Charlie Hebdo. Next thing you know, we got a men's rights advocate who's a psychopath killing people in Santa Barbara. How do those two things compare? I have no idea. I don't know how you do this. I call into a talk show. I'm like, hey, I want to talk about pigeons. I want to talk about pigeons and Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's love of pigeons. And then the host turns around and goes, I want to talk about cheesecake. Why? Because I like cheesecake. So this guy and his wife, they have a major bone to pick with men, and it's just getting started. It is anti-man. It's anti-white. It's anti-America. It's anti-establishment. It's anti-everything you can be anti. They are the most pussified. They are the most pussified PC liberals I've ever come across on YouTube. It's sickening. And let me tell you, as a straight white male, fuck you. If you think I'm going to sit here and let you just rattle off insults at straight white men, why? Because there was a psychopath who killed people? No, sorry, doesn't work. The caller's talking about jihadism and Islam. So your ridiculous attempt to railroad the conversation into men's rights is absurd, is laughable.
Now,
Right.
I think that what motivates somebody to do horrible acts like that is most definitely a combination of their ideology and their
Oh, here's the part where he's going to explain what else it is aside from ideology. Ideology, please. Ideology. What is it? His id? His ego and his id? No, it's ideology. Schmuck. This is the part where you're going to tell us what else was substantially motivational in their desire to go kill these people other than Islam. What else should we be talking about? What are we missing here, Russell, aside from Islam? You've enlightened us with your example of that loser idiot kid who is reviled around the world as being the homicidal mass murderer that he is. There's not a single person on the planet that supports what he did. Not one. Okay, as opposed to the Charlie Hebdo attack, where there are hundreds of millions of people who openly support what they did. For example, the 1 million people who showed up in Chechnya, Muslims, sorry, not people, specifically Muslims, to support the killers. They're not saying Je suis Charlie, they're saying Je suis Muhammad. Now you show me 1 million people marching to support the murdering idiot loser from Santa Barbara. Show me that.
their access to violent weapons.
What? What? Their access to violent weapons is the motivation? That's the reason they do it? Oh, there's a gun there. I might as well start killing people. Let me start killing cartoonists. Why? Because I have access to a gun. What the fuck is that? I have access to this window. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump out of it. If I believed in a religion where a God said you should jump out of windows, yeah, then maybe I should do it. And maybe just to make it clearer to you, as I'm falling out the window, leaping out the window, I will scream out my motivation. I am doing this because my God tells me to do it, splat. Which is exactly what the Muslims did at Charlie Hebdo. They said, we are avenging the Prophet Muhammad, Allahu Akbar. It couldn't be more clear why they did it. So why are you freaking nerd, trying to overanalyze this? I know why. I mean, that's a rhetorical question. I know why you're doing this. Because you can't deal with it. You don't have the balls to accept the facts of what Islam is. You want to just smear the whole thing. Just spread it out. Just let's not. I'm peace and love, man. I'm not anti anything, bro. Yeah, I'm all about, some religions. I think all religions, if you take them too far. I mean, for God's sakes, there's a guy that shot women in Santa Barbara. I mean, that was bad, and so that could be an international threat to us. Jihadism is an international threat. It's all the same, bro. Fuck, look at that goatee. Give me a break.
Right.
And the mental state that they're in, because certainly most sexually frustrated guys do not go around murdering people.
Oh, you're back to the sexually frustrated guys thing. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to talk about Islam. You cannot talk about Islam. It's a mental health problem, right? A mental health problem that is apparently being suffered by 1 billion people. It doesn't do me any good to say, oh, well, you know what? Let's not worry about ISIS because they're all mental health patients. I'm going to label them as being psycho. Therefore, it can't be a religion. It's just the fact that they're psycho. or the religion happens to be psycho. And it's just a chicken or the egg. Who cares? The fact is there are people who believe these things and do these things. And I am willing to acknowledge that, and you aren't. Which is why right now we're talking about men's rights.
But it takes a very special combination of mental state and ideology.
It's ideology, you fucking asshole. Just like it's Pirates of the Caribbean, not Pirates of the Caribbean. You shit.
Motive, method, and opportunity, basically,
Right.
to push somebody into that very special place of committing mass murder.
Oh my God, that very special place of committing mass murder. Do you know what's not special about it? When it's Muslims killing. That's the most unspecial thing, to the point where it's not even news. There are Muslims killing people every day. Mass killings every day. Do you know what doesn't happen every day? Sexually frustrated losers go off killing women because he's bitter that he cannot get any pussy. That is not a phenomenon. That is not a trend. That is nothing to be worried about. I mean, it's to be condemned when it happened, as everybody has. I have no idea why we're talking about it right now. It's bizarre. It's stupid and bizarre. But it is not special in the Muslim world. It is the most commonplace thing. In fact, right now, somebody's getting their head chopped off. And I'm not being facetious. Literally, a guy is getting his head chopped off as I am doing this recording.
And I think that Islam is definitely one of those ideologies that can lead you there.
Oh, it's one of them. What are the other ones? What are the other ones? What are the other ideologies that you think leads to mass killing? Name them. Why are they not on the news? It's unbelievable. Name them. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. I mean, I guess if you then apply the same logic of, like, bad, let's just say bad ideas, just the concept of believing a bad idea. And, you know, obviously you guys have had many conversations with creationists, people that deny scientific evidence because of, you know, their desire to just want to feel good about a belief they have. You know, I mean, is it, you know, whether it leads to murder or whether it leads to denying science, I think that the point is just that, you know, addressing the problem with believing bad ideas, I think, is what
I think
we're very much against believing in bad ideas.
Yeah.
Thinking that bad ideas can lead to these kind of violent things, though, worries me, because it kind of gets to the kind of mindset of, well, that means I'm immune, so I don't have to worry about it.
Because I never have any bad ideas.
Because I don't have bad ideas, because I'm a skeptic.
I love how we're just talking about bad ideas. Well, how vague and pointless is this conversation? What kind of a statement is that? What kind of a politically correct bullshit statement is it to say, I'm against bad ideas? Okay, Russell and wife, what are the bad ideas? Okay, how about, here's one, Islam. The doctrines of Islam and how they manifest in the world and the mass killing we see today in reality. Those are bad ideas. I want to talk about them. What do? They flatten the thing out to just, all bad ideas, all ideologies are capable of bad ideas. And what is that? What sort of vague, non-specific conversation is this? Why is it that they cannot talk about the topic at hand? And they have to go back to their go-to issues, their talking point nonsense issues.
And it's the kind of reason why, sexual harassment is so prevalent at atheist conventions. It's because for a long time they didn't think that they had to deal with it because they're so rational, obviously.
Are you serious? Wow.
they wouldn't do that kind of thing.
Oh my God. And now it's reared its head. Sexual harassment is a problem at atheist conventions? Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. First of all, let me just tell you, in your fat head, where is sexual harassment not a problem? You name a public gathering, an institution, a city, anywhere in the world. In your head, it is always a problem. So why are you singling out atheist conventions? You name a gathering of men. Let's go to a sports bar. Is there going to be sexual harassment there? Let's go to a club. Let's go anywhere. In the military, in school, at the workplace. Why? Your world is that you are a victim and sexual harassment is everywhere. This is part of this ridiculous trend of these first world feminists who just yapping and whining constantly, just throwing the entire male gender under the bus. It is the most off-putting, repellent strategy I've ever seen to try to actually make progress. Just flat out disgraceful. So yeah, atheist conventions. Oh, it's terrible. Why don't you go to Comic-Con? Okay, go to the porn convention in LA. Go anywhere. Step outside your door. Holy shit. Go to a YouTube comment section. Oh, it's sexual harassment. Wow. It is so weak. How friggin' weak is this? Can you believe we start a conversation with Charlie Hebdo and we end up with sexual harassment at atheist conventions? Shit.
And so now they've kind of figured out, no, that actually is a problem. Maybe we should deal with it. So, it's trying to say, oh, because I'm an atheist, because I'm a skeptic, I won't fall for something stupid like that that'll ask me to go so incredibly violent. But, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah,
it's true.
What? Did anybody catch that? Did anybody out there make sense of what you just said? That made no sense. So we went from, okay, wait, we're sexually harassing you at atheist conventions, and we don't think it's a problem because we're skeptical and rational, and somehow we're now not going to become violent, or we might become violent. What are you talking about? Shut up. Go eat more.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that there are many different forms of bad ideas out there, and
Oh my God. Will you shut up, Russell? Russell, you are a frigging monkey. Shut the hell up. There are many bad ideas out there. Get out of here with this Sesame Street bullshit analysis.
having the atheist experience is one way of combating one particular category of bad idea, and that includes Islam. But
Right.
that's not enough. We have to encourage people to be generally on guard for bad ideas, not only in other people, but in themselves.
Especially in
Sure.
themselves.
Especially in themselves. And
Sure.
Muslims too ought to learn that stuff.
Yes, I agree. But I mean, that applies obviously to many many theists of all types.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Okay. Great. So yeah, they're one of the group, just one of the gang. The Muslims, no different. You know, they don't believe in different things. They don't live a century before where we currently are today. No, their views about gays and women and apostasy, blasphemy, freedom, all that stuff, violence, how to treat infidels, all that's pretty much the same. I mean, give or take, there's a few passages you could, maybe say there's a difference here and there, but basically it's all the same. It's just one bad idea, not any worse or less. It's bad idea. Throw it in there with all the other bad ideas. What rubbish. I hope you at home see that this is the problem. This is a problem unique to itself. Obviously, the Muslim world is a problem, and the religion of Islam is a problem. But look at these people. These are supposed to be people on our side. They're supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be teaching people. And meanwhile, they're spreading this degree of heinous stupidity. Utterly shameful. Again. And that is your bonus bullshit.